Okay, so what I'm going to do, like this thing, well, not like the thing says, but like most people they need more leads, right? So what I'm going to do, I hope this thing is working. All right, so that's working. Let me share my screen. See if this does it. Cool. Okay, so I'm actually live. Okay, so let me shut this off. All right. So what I want to show, and I can't see any messages or anything like that if you guys send it. Not that anyone watches this stuff, but so like how to get more leads for your business. So I recently posted an ad to get more, to get another salesperson, and I said that you're going to get at least 10 leads a day, and blah blah blah. And just to make sure that I honor my word, I wanted to bring in an influx of leads pretty quickly, right? And up until this point, so like I do own a fence company, but I'm not a fence guy, right? So I spent the last several years learning how to get more and more leads for my business because I always told myself I'm not a salesperson. And, even with a low closing rate, I never looked at improving my sales up until this past year. I only looked at how can I improve my lead flow, right? So I've spent a lot of time on it, like hundreds of hours at this point, like spent, I don't even know how much money at this point, but like, I don't know, probably close to $200,000 on ads, if not more, probably more at this point. And so I'm going to show you what the results can be like pretty damn quickly, right? So what I did, and you got to figure out what kind of leads you want, right? For me, because I knew salespeople were coming in the door, and a way to get them acclimated pretty quickly, and like an easiest transition is to send them My Salesman leads. Okay. So if you don't know what My Salesman is, it's an online tool. So it's an online tool. I'll just go through it real quick. And honestly, we're building a program to replace this because it doesn't do a lot of things that I need it to do. So anyway, you just put in here like your address and stuff. You add your fence, you do all this. I'm just going to make something up real quick. Okay, there you go. Next, you choose the style of fence. Do that, hit next, and then it gives you a price, right? So then what happens is people, when they do that, they go into the reports. Okay. So what I want to show you, let me just refresh this thing. So there's two types of reports for this. There's a drop-off report and an activity report. You don't need to understand anything except for to look at dates, right? So what we're going to look at is the 7th, right? So I didn't start the ads yet. So we have 1, 2, 3 people on the 7th that did this. Okay. Now I'm going to open up, make it a new tab. And now we're going to go to the drop-off report, which pretty much shows the same information. Again, I'm not going to explain why they're separate reports. And sometimes there's people that use it more than once. So like this person used it twice, right? So anyway, between the two, there was a total of, well, in that case, 5 and, this person, so 4, 3 people. So 3 people, because these people did it twice, right? So, and that's pretty average. Like 2, 3 people a day were using it with no advertising whatsoever, right? Which is okay. But again, like I'm bringing a salesperson, I want to make sure there's leads, right? So I started the new ad through Google, and what I did is I started on the 10th, but I didn't start in the morning. I started it more towards the night. But what you can see is automatically, and now again, same thing, people are using it more than once, but just on this one report alone, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there was someone else on here, 7 people, right? And then we'll go to this report. And obviously more people are using it more than once, but like, I forget, 8, I think I was on, but 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people without even being a full day. Now the 11th was the first full day. So same thing, 1, 2, 3, this is me, 4, 5, this person I won't count, 6. Well, actually we could because they gave us a phone number, but anyway, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people, right? That's only on the one report. Then we go to here. I'm not going to double check to see who did it. I know this person did, this person, that's me. But anyway, you're going from like 2, 3 leads a day to like 12 leads a day, right? So imagine what you can do with that for your business. Let me go through here. I don't know. Message. No one's messaging. Okay. So what do you need to do for that, right? What I personally do, you have 2 options. There's pretty much like search intent based, or sorry, intent based. And then, so that means basically they're actively looking for what you want to sell. So for me, I created ads like for this, my salesman search ads, and then this video conversion ad is basically anytime someone is searching for fence company near me, fence companies near me, or fencing company near me. That's what I chose. I could do a lot more, but when you're advertising, you're not trying to get people. This is a little bit more in depth than I was planning to go. But when you're doing advertising, right, there's like people are in a different buying cycle. Okay. So what that means is, let me stop sharing my screen for a second. Okay. So what that means is, yeah, you have this buying cycle, right? So you have the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. Top of the funnel is them just, they're not really aware, like they don't really know if they're going to get a fence. They're just, maybe they went to a barbecue, maybe like a fence panel started blowing out, whatever it may be, but they're just in the very, very beginning stages, right? So they're all the way up here. Well, all the way at the bottom is like they're ready to buy and then they're going to give you money, right? Typically, when you're advertising, you don't want to spend a lot of time with the people that are just starting to look, because chances are you're trying to advertise, you're spending money for that. So then you want to get an immediate return on your investment, right? It's not like you want to spend money and nurture this lead, because no one nurtures their leads anyway, for the most part. Unless you really have a good dialed down sales process, which most of us don't, right? So you don't want to spend people up here that aren't going to buy a fence for a year. You want to spend time at the bottom where it's like they want to move forward like pretty damn quickly, right? So what can you do about that? Well, it's deciding what, again, there's 2 searches. Like you can do Google ads, where people are actively looking for fence companies, or you can do stuff like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, stuff like YouTube ads, stuff like that, where they're not really looking for this stuff. It just so happens it comes across their page. They're like, I wonder how much that costs, right? So there's that. Plus with Google Ads, because you can choose the type of keywords that you're looking for or want to show up for, that allows you to find people further down the buying process, right? So how do you do that? Well, you don't want to, if you want to find someone closer to the buying cycle, you want to find and like show up for things such as like fence company near me. It could be financing is not the best one, but you could do something about fence financing. You could do something where it's like the best fence company near me, fastest fence company near me, things like that. Because if they're searching for that, as opposed to could be like how much does a fence cost, how long does a cedar fence last, things like that. Well, they're just in the very beginning. Like when they're asking questions like how long does a cedar fence last, it sounds like they don't even really know if they're getting a cedar fence at this point, right? Whereas if they're specifically looking for fence companies and things like that, they're further down the buying cycle, so they're much closer, because at this point they're not really looking for information. They want to like talk to someone, right? If that makes sense. So that's what I end up choosing for. Like, I don't want to waste times with the salespeople and everything else. I want to give them good leads. I want to, like, if you think about it in like football strategies and stuff like that, is like when we have these salespeople, we want to make sure that our star running backs, we give them the ball every single time, but we want to make it easy for them, right? We don't want to give them the ball and not protect them, and then they're getting tackled. Well, I'm not really a football guy. Like, I'll play it, but I won't watch it. But like, you're not going to give them the ball and then not block them or anything like that. You want to set them up for the best chances that they can, so they can do their job properly, right? And so that's giving them better quality leads, right? So anyway, so what do you do and how do you do it? Okay, so I'm not going to go through the whole process. I've shown in other videos. Oh, and I clicked off myself and pretending that I'm on my share my screen. Share screen. So what needs to happen is here. And this is an example of an ad. Actually, let's go even further back. So if I type in fence company near me, okay, so what do we see? So freedom product. Now this I do like, right? The reason why I like this is it's an actual it's a supplier or it's a manufacturer of a fence, right? And the cool thing with this is that they're actually advertising for their other fence companies, so that way in return, like they're advertising so their fence companies get lead, and then in return they're getting business from that, which is smart, right? So we have that. Then we have here, this is us, okay? So you'll notice West Stepford homeowners get your fence in 3 weeks. So like this ad is specifically targeted for people that want their fence fixed, okay? I'm not looking for people that are searching occasionally or anything like that. I want them to, I want the people that want their fence like now, okay? Because again, I want my return on investment. And then you can see here, you can add other stuff. If you don't want a headache, blah, blah, blah. Calculate your fence price in just a few minutes with a simple to use tool. Instant pricing, 2 to 3 week fence installs, 2021 best at Gloucester. Okay. So we have all that. These, I don't know why. I don't even know who these people are, to be honest with you. So this would be an example of a bad ad, right? Because you want them to go to a landing page that's specifically for this stuff, right? So when I'm typing in fence company near me, and you're not even a fence company near me, you're an online fence supplier. So what part of this should be if I search like DIY fence company near me, something like that, right? So this doesn't make any sense. Same way, Broadway. I like this because it says wholesale fencing, fast and easy shipping, blah, blah, blah. But same thing, this is more geared towards online fence company, right? Like this isn't a specific fence company. This is a fence supply company. And like I'm typing in fence company near me. Like what part of this is screaming to you about a typical person that's typing fence company near me? Like the only people that are looking for this stuff is someone that's in wholesale, commercial, that kind of thing. Other than that, like temporary fence, barricade fence, crowd control, temporary fence, custom fence screening, like this doesn't make any sense. So this is a complete waste of time. And chances are, I bet you that they're paying someone to run these ads for them and they just don't know what the hell they're doing. And the reason why this happens all the time is because the person that you hired is not spending their own money. Like for me, I had to get results. I needed to pay, pay for ads that would enable for me to make money so I can feed my family, right? And this is what happens when you outsource it a lot of times is you just are giving it to people that honestly, they just don't give a shit. Because they'll lock you into a program where it's like a 12-month commitment, something like that. And it's $1,500 a month plus ad spend. So you're spending like $2,500 a month and they're going to promise you everything. And the bad thing is they're going to show you all the clicks and the conversions, stuff like that. But the clicks don't matter for shit because like at the end of the day, it's kind of like saying, oh, I sold like our fence company did $3 million in sales. But yet when you look at it, like the owner pocketed $100,000. Like what the hell is that? Right. It's just, it's pointless. So anyway, we got that. Any more ads down here? Here's more local fencing company. Get a fencing estimate. Like it's okay. K&J Fence, South Jersey Fence Company. Like it's okay. But none of it screams that you want to get your fence right away. That's why we put this in here. And so that's what we do. And then everything's targeted to get their stuff right away, right? So we have that. Trying to think what else. Yeah, that's about it. So anyway, the ads, I can point out different videos that I've done in the past where I've shown you step by step to do this kind of stuff. If you're looking for help for this kind of stuff, I'm toying with the idea of helping other companies just because I see the need for it. So if you're interested, you can always contact me. It's support@localprohelper.com. And then basically just kind of get you the same results. So what we can see here, and I'm working on the conversion tracking because I had a guy set it up for me, but I set this up for the 11th and 12th. And between the two of them, I think there was like 23, I think total when I count, there was like 23 people that use this tool. Now, there normally would have been 6 because 3 a day, right? So, 23 minus 6 is 17. So about 17 people use this thing, right? So if we go to here, 17, put a little calculator up there. So in total, and again, the conversion, I have to get the guy to look at this again. So we spent 105 plus the 46.69. The 130.64, that's something completely different. Those ads aren't running to that. So we do that, and then we're going to divide that by 17, and you're coming with $8.94 leads, which is just crazy. So if you can compare to someone else, what's going to end up happening is they're going to look at much higher than that. Again, I don't know what's going on, why it's the conversions are showing way, like literally 0. But there's we didn't do anything different except for start running these ads. So I have to find out what's going on with that. It could be because my salesman, I don't know if they accidentally took off the tracking tag. I'm not quite sure about that. That's definitely possible if they did some kind of update, something like that. It's a problem with not having my own software, among other things. But anyway, so again, if you need help with this kind of stuff, reach out. But again, you can go through the YouTube channel and then find that stuff. Let's go to here. And then we're on that. And then, let's go to Studio. Google Ads. Okay, here we go. Easy Google Ads tutorial, right? So this is everything pretty much now this was made back in, about 1.5 years ago at this point. But so some of the things may change, but for the most part, everything, I'm trying to think of any major updates. I don't really remember any major updates at this point. So anyway, you can go through that figure, and this will teach you exactly how to do it, or you can have me do it. Like I said, I'm probably going to start opening it up at some point just because I see the need. And I've been looking at other people's Google Ads account, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why are you spending all this money for no results, right? So like I said, it can be as simple as literally turning on a light switch where you go from 2 and 3 leads a day to literally 13 a day. So it's too early to tell what's actually going to happen with these leads at this point. But the fact that we're getting them for sub $9 is just, it's ridiculous. I knew it was going to work. I just didn't realize it was going to be that fast because the next day I forgot that I ran the ad, and then I kept on seeing the emails come through. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I just started the ads. So anyway, if you need more leads, this is the one thing I keep on talking about. I've been doing a lot of YouTube lives and stuff. This is the one thing that I keep on talking about is my biggest concern for everyone is that you're not going to have enough leads when this recession hits. And the reason for that is if you're only getting, because most of the, I've been talking to a few fence guys, and they're we're getting 3 and 4 leads a day, right? So that would scare the shit out of me personally. But what's going to happen when literally half the people are looking for a fence because no one has, either they don't have money, right? Or they're scared about losing their job or whatever else. So you got to take, there's always going to be that percentage of people that they need the fence or need whatever service that you offer, and they're going to have the money to do it, right? So the more affluent customers, stuff like that. But the vast majority, unless you're in high ticket items, plus the same thing goes with, even with the high ticket and the high end stuff, you only might be doing a handful of jobs. If you look at high end decks and the remodels and that kind of thing, you only might be doing a handful of those. So you only need a few leads. But if those leads start drying up, you can't wait too long. The one guy I'm going to be sending a video tonight for is you've reached out and he's I have 19 jobs on the book, but there's no leads coming in, right? So I have these 19 jobs that are going through, but every week, more and more are getting done, and it's going to get to the point where I have no leads. So what do I do, right? So like this is one of the easiest things. Like I said, you can do Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, stuff like that. But realize when you're doing Google ads, it's targeting people that are actively looking for what you want. Now I can get more leads. I don't know about at a cheaper. It used to be you could get more leads at a cheaper cost on Facebook, but because the price of Facebook has went up drastically, and the fact that like I said, it looks like we're getting leads for about $9 a piece. They're probably not going to be any cheaper, but on top of that, like they're much more qualified. So anyway, again, if you need help, let me know. But also, if you can do it yourself. Like this stuff's not hard. I think if you think of it more like like the industries that you're in, when you start looking at this stuff, like when it comes to fencing or like I had to do my own sprinkler system, stuff like that, you think it's so difficult, but then you realize it's literally just like a few basic steps, right? So ads are no different, but I think at the end of the day, most people they don't have time to figure it out, and then also no time to like implement it. So that's why they're kind of where they are. So anyway, if you need help, great. If not, like check out the video. It'll tell you what you need to know. And then there's other things such as I shut my thing off. There's other things in here about the Google Ads audit, the things I would do differently. Things like that. Number one, Google ad mistakes that everyone makes, like stuff like that. Google audit for a customer. Like these things are important because you're going to see the mistakes that they're making, and so you don't do that. So anyway, have an awesome night, and hopefully